And who doesn't love the Virgo Venus aesthetic? It's so hot. It reminds me of Velma from Scooby-Doo. I mean, haven't we all fantasized about her whispering jinkies in our ears? This is Saturn Girl, and my mama Venus is about to change signs once again. No, I'm not saying my mama is a slut, but she sure does get her on the zodiac, doesn't she? This time, Our Lady of Lewd and Lascivious Love will enter the voluptuous sign of Virgo. I'm being quite generous here. But let's look at the fun chart, shall we? So you see, here's my mama in very late Leo. And let's move ahead a few days. And boom! She's fallen into Virgo and she can't get up. It's true. They do say that Venus falls in Virgo, and I'm like, yeah, on their knees. But seriously though, you can make them kneel on Legos if you wanted to. Our sweet little subbies. I mean, Virgo is the sign of the Virgin, but don't be fooled. They may have a clean house, but they'll still ruin your sheets. Virgo, more like Squirtle. I have to make fun of Virgo Venus people though. It's like they'll gag on a hair in their food and then proceed to eat your ass. I love Virgo Venus, but dating them can be like a game of Operation. If you accidentally touch the sides of one of their invisible boundaries, you've lost. And who doesn't love the Virgo Venus aesthetic? It's so hot. It reminds me of Velma from Scooby-Doo. I mean, haven't we all fantasized about her whispering jinkies in our ears? But falling in love with the Virgo Venus can feel like falling in love with your college biology professor. I'm all like, can you please show me some more body parts after class, mama? If Venus in Leo is Marsha Brady, then Venus in Virgo is definitely Jan. You know, she's all like, Marsha. Seriously though, this is an important transit. In fact, it's always important when Venus changes signs, because the whole sign house she's entering for you will indicate which area of life is about to get some added harmony and perhaps some pleasure. In this video, we're going to explore the meaning of Venus in Virgo, and then what it means for you personally by doing your horoscopes for the occasion. So watch this shit till the end. But first, what does Venus even mean in astrology? She's love, desire, sex, and pleasure. She rules nice things and our relationships, not just romantic, but our whole social nature. Virgo, on the other hand, is ruled by Mercury and therefore has to do with investigation, introspection, writing, and communication. Details and divisions, like having to classify everything and understanding how things work. Mercury rules two signs, Virgo and Gemini. Virgo is a feminine earth sign, so it's more like Mercury turned inward towards the world of contemplation and analysis, while Gemini is a masculine air sign, so it's more like Mercury turned outward into the world of knowledge gathering. I've dated my fair share of Virgo Venus people. Even when they're too shy to speak, their eyes are still loud as fuck. You know that look, right? But what are some key words or phrases for Venus in Virgo? I said last time that Venus in Leo reminds me of Cher from Clueless. Meanwhile, Venus in Virgo is more like Ty, you know, Brittany Murphy's character. Remember when they're all like, you could be a farmer in those clothes? She may not be the most confident, and she can be a real people pleaser. I mean, in the movie, Ty was attracted to the fixer-uppers and the skater bros. Or how about Agent Scully from the X-Files? She knows better, but she just can't help following Agent Mulder around like a little puppy. But remember how being critical was part of her appeal? It's like they're always going around sizing up other people's appearances. Simon Cowell from American Idol has a Virgo Venus, and he was basically paid to do just that. He felt the need to criticize women's looks. And then he aged so gracefully, didn't he? His face looks like it melted at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. But there are other hideous people with this placement, like J.K. Rowling. The Harry Potter author turned transvestigator now spends most of her time obsessing about trans people's genitals. I mean, quit looking at my skirt, JK. And who do you think you are, Austin Powers? You can't just go up to everyone saying, "It's a man, baby." But Virgo Venus can be quite intelligent. It's just that her need to please can keep her from speaking up. And thank goodness they can't text their complaints at restaurants. Otherwise, we'd have a whole load of quiet Karens, wouldn't we? Do you remember my Leo Venus video where I used Tinkerbell as an example? Well, if she is a Leo Venus, then Wendy is a Virgo Venus. I mean, they feel like they need to take care of everyone. And they're always bringing home those lost boys, aren't they? In fact, they often rearrange their lives just to please others. Take Gwen Stefani, for example. By her own admission, she never wanted to be in a band. She only did it because she was in love with the bassist, Tony Kanal. In fact, she said that she used to just stare at him when they were all on stage together and fantasize about having his babies and a family. Of course, he shattered her heart like a sheet of meth. But now Gwen Stefani's a big star. At least for us elder millennials, right? I mean, I'm going to be singing "I'm Just a Girl" when I'm 80. Seriously though, some of the kindest and most devoted partners I ever had were also Virgo Venus people. They treat me like a queen, while I get to treat them like a toy. But I always take care of my toys. If you want to keep your Virgo Venus partner, you gotta make sure to give them gold stars every so often. They also want a good report card. But what does this mean for you? Well, first, you might feel more introverted and introspective. Take this time to contemplate what's really of value to you. It's good to be introspective, but take that critical nature and ask yourself what in your life you'd like to change. Learn new things. Get some great new books on subjects that interest you, or check out YouTube videos. Just watch out for their sources. This is also a great time to fix things around the house, which YouTube can also help you with. I mean, I didn't know shit about changing a toilet, but now I do. Ba-boom. This isn't a social time though, so you have to find what fun you can have by yourself around the house. I mean, I can think of a few things. And if you've been mean or surly to people, now is the time to reconcile and apologize if you did anything wrong. Because you know Virgo Venus will apologize for anything, even World War II if you tell them it was their fault. But to see how this affects you personally, we need to do your horoscopes for the occasion. And remember, we do these by each rising sign because that's what determines your houses. But if you don't know it, you can watch for your sun sign. So let's start with Aries Rising or Aries Rising Hermes. This means Venus is entering your 6th house of obligations, health, and even pets. So you see, this is a great time to get a pet if you haven't already, or to take them to the vet. But you see, this also affects your health too. So this means self-care. It means get enough exercise, get good nutrition, and make sure to get enough sleep. This is where we start doing better habits around our physical life. Because the 6th house is all the things that fall apart if you don't take care of them. But let's move on now to Taurus Rising, our Taurus Rising Hermes. This means Venus is entering your 5th house of children and pleasure. Lucky you, because this is the feel-good sort of transit. If you are single, it's time to mingle and, use your fluids a bit here and there. If you already have a partner, this is a fun, sexy transit where you get to go out and enjoy yourselves a bit more. This can also mean more fun with your children. They may get along with you better, so take them out to do fun things. Go to a sporting event, the zoo, the museum. I don't know, Sky Zone. Find something for y'all to do. But let's move on to Gemini Rising, our Gemini Rising Hermes. So this means Venus is going into your 4th house of home, family, and private life. So you see, this often indicates needing to decorate our personal space to make it feel like a representation of the beauty that you feel inside. This is also a time to enjoy your own company. Read a good book, sit on the couch, tell other people to give you peace because you're going to need it. You could also get good information or good messages from your parents. So keep your ears open. But let's move on to Cancer Rising, Our Cancer Rising Hermes. So this means Venus is going into your third house of siblings, communication, education, and short journeys. You could get messages or hear from a sister, aunt, uncle, cousin. We usually think female relatives because Venus rules women, but it could be any of them. One of them could come and stay with you. Or this might be a time when you feel more diplomatic, or get out in your community. Go to some farmers markets, meet people in your area, and relax. Take your commute slowly. And maybe go on a staycation if it's in the cards for you, if you can. But let's move on to Leo Rising, our Leo Rising Hermes. This puts Venus going into your second house of possessions, finances, and even business or livelihood. When Venus comes into this house, it can mean sharing. We may give someone a gift or share our wealth with them. But it could also signal you getting a little boost in income. Maybe you get some more clients if you have a small business. And you probably will get the desire to buy yourself some nice things. Just be careful with your finances and don't overspend. But let's move on to Virgo Rising, our Virgo Rising Hermes. This puts Venus in your first house. And this is great. It's always a lot of fun because you feel very confident and sparkly and beautiful. I often meet new partners while Venus is in my first house because I feel so regal, if you will. So please enjoy this time that you have a little extra pep in your step and try to go out and mingle with other people. But let's move on to Libra Rising, our Libra Rising Hermes. So this puts Venus in your 12th house. This is another self-care transit, but it has to do more with your mental health. So this is a time to take care of yourself. I always say, it's time to drop bath bombs, you know? You'll want to be alone and enjoy your own company as well. And please, if you need to address some self-destructive behavior, now is the time to go and make some progress in therapy. But let's move on to Scorpio Rising, our Scorpio Rising Hermes. This puts Venus in your 11th house of hopes and friends and supporters. So when Venus goes into here, this is the social time. Even though I said Virgo Venus wasn't very social. But here, you're making new connections, possibly meeting new supporters or new friends, and hopefully people who help you achieve your goals and your visions. This is a time of optimism where we hold out a vision for the direction we want to go in. But let's move on here to Snajimattarius Rising, our Snajimattarius Rising Hermes. This puts Venus going into your 10th house, which often represents harmony at work. There could be a female mentor or boss that gives you added opportunities. I always say, while Venus is in your 10th house, polish up that resume because new opportunities may pop out of nowhere and you want to be ready. Make sure to put on that special pantsuit or whatever it is you wear because you want to make a good professional impression. But let's move on here to Capricorn Rising, Crapricorn Rising Hermes, right? This puts Venus in our 9th house, doesn't it? Now, when Venus goes into the 9th house, this is the time to explore new subjects that interest us. This is a time to feel our values and the value in our values. What is it that makes our worldview important or coherent to us? Where can we sort of make compromises or learn how to see things from other people's point of view? This isn't about debate, and this isn't about being right. This is about seeing how things fit together and interconnect. You might find yourself asking the big questions of life. Why are we here? Why is this a thing? Take some time to contemplate and to feel the answers out in your own heart and mind. But let's move on here to Aquarius Rising, our Aquarius Rising Hermes. This is me and all my friends. You see, well, I have friends in every sign, but Venus is going into our 8th house. And you see, this means forgiveness and reconciliation. I know for me, I got really Karenish with a manager at the roller rink. And I felt terrible, and I set a terrible example for my daughter. So, of course, I apologized to this person, and it made me feel a lot better. You see, the eighth house is about death and debt. Yes? And what is forgiveness? It's squaring an emotional debt. Reconciliation is very important, and it releases us from being owed and from owing others. Forgiveness is for us. It frees us, yes? So please swallow your pride like I did and get yourself some new freedom. But let's move on here to Pisces Rising. Our Pisces Rising Hermes. This puts Venus in your seventh house, which is very nice, very lovely, especially if you already have a partner. If you do, this is the date night transit. Find fun things to do together and to enjoy your company. You see, when we're with a partner, we have to constantly fall in love over and over again because we change as people. Now, if you don't have a partner, this is the time to get out and go to singles events or mixers or get on dating apps, you know. I'm like on 6 of them. So take this opportunity to try and meet people and to put yourself out there because you may be surprised at what comes back to you. But anyway, I hope this stuff was useful. I would love to know stories that you have about Virgo Venus, if you do at all, and tell me in the comments. I'm excited to hear from you. Thank you for watching. Like this video and subscribe to my channel. And make sure to click the bell when you subscribe so that you get notified when my new videos drop. And I do the best readings. It's science. You can book through my website, saturngirl.org. And if you can't afford a reading right now, come to my live streams and get one for free. But you have to be subscribed to get notified about them. And please consider tipping me. It helps me make such wonderful content. You can give through super thanks below or become a member of my channel. And remember, I love you. You're beautiful. And have a wonderful, whatever it is you're having.